Hello, kindred spirits, and welcome back to Tea Time with a Medium. Today we are doing advice on your current situation. And to do this, we are first going to create our piles. So, abracadabra, didgeridoo, sending bright light from me to you. That's much better. So, let's take a look at pile 1. We have Oracle card, Style, number 8, Pizzazz, beautiful earrings, looking good, feeling good. Pile 1. Pile 2, we've got Freedom, number 55, very dynamic number, Freedom. So that's pile 2. And pile 3, we have Diplomacy, number 6, nice round, solid number. Diplomacy. So those are your three piles, and allow me to add our talismans. Spirit, send me some shells. That's much better. All right, so for pile 1, we have this beautiful yellow shell. Dun 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 dun. And for pile 2, a gorgeous green shell. I want to crawl inside and live in there. And we also have this coral gorgeous shell. Okay, so as I always encourage you, choose the pile that you are most drawn to. And if you are drawn to more than one, that's perfectly okay. I'll leave the timestamps down below so you can enjoy your reading, and I will see you in your tea room. Hello there, kindred spirit. You chose pile 1, the beautiful yellow shell, and I'm going to set that right there for you. And let's take a look at your oracle card, and I'm actually going to read this to you. So this oracle card, I'm reading from the book, it asks questions for your contemplation. In what ways did you learn to blend in like everyone else? Where are you still blending in but secretly wanting to leap out? Where can you receive support and encouragement? How can you coax out your individual creative style? So this oracle card is bringing you a message that you need to hear right now on your current situation. This is all about stepping out and being your dynamic self. You absolutely have the right to be you, the individual you, not trying to be anybody else, but really stepping forward and accepting that you are unique and your life purpose is to simply be yourself. So that is the message that you needed to hear from that oracle card. And let's take a look at your other oracle cards. I'm actually going to leave this one aside and look at that afterwards. But oh, revenge. This is a really powerful emotion, right? Mars in Scorpio. So Mars energy, Martian energy is very dynamic. It's very straightforward. Scorpio, of course, can be brooding, perhaps manipulative. So this is telling me that in your current situation, you either are dealing with someone who has these feelings in connection to you, or perhaps you are feeling this. We will look at this within the totality of the reading as your reading unfolds. So I'm going to leave that there and let us take a look at what your tarot cards have to say. Balance, the Wheel, 3 of Earth, the Elder, 7 of Fire, Generosity of Fire, Velocity of Water, and Velocity of Fire. You have recently, it seems like with Balance and the Wheel here, had a trying effort in which you really hoped to bring together a sense of balance and moderation and evenness, equilibrium in your life, because the wheel shows me that life asked you to do that. You were presented with a situation in which you really, really had to commit to creating balance in your life. And that was challenging for you. It can be really difficult to create balance in your life when things are moving so quickly. And this is what I see with the wheel here. This carousel that just keeps going and going and going. And you never really know what life is going to bring you. You have the 2 dice here and the tickets. You really have just got to, buy the ticket and take the ride. And you do your best to try and bring a little bit of justice to that motion, justice to that momentum, and try to create something bountiful and beautiful, just like this card is showing us, with this field of flowers and weighing out the harvest, how much work you have put in and how much you've been able to regain, to acquire, to harvest from that hard work. So I know that this period has just ended for you, or this is something recent that you've dealt with. And of course, I can understand that it was quite challenging for you, and how you feel about it is 3 of Earth and the Elder. You know what? We as humans, as a species, we are social creatures. We want to be with other people. We need other people, even if we don't want to be with other people. So 3 of Earth shows me here, along with the Emperor card, that's the Elder in this deck, by the way, that how you feel about the situation that you've just come through is you try to exert some kind of executive control over the situation so that you could feel safe. And that's perfectly normal. Look at this female king. This woman is sitting underneath a very powerful mountain. And mountains have a great deal of life energy. They are bountiful in terms of source energy. If you live at the base of a mountain, or if you're a mountain climber, you can understand that mountains hold energy. They can help hold energy, but they can also isolate us. So trying to control too much, trying to control the situation, can make us feel isolated at times when we really need to be with our community. So I feel like this is a balance situation of trying to control and trying to be free enough so that you can be with your community. Now, the advice going forward here, 7 of Fire, Generosity of Fire, fire energy, along with this Revenge card and the Style card, I'm feeling like there's an overall message here for you to really step into your own. It's okay to be your fiery self. Look at this woman. She's wearing a top hat. And look at how her chest is up and out. She's very self-assured, even though there are these wands of fire that are coming at her. She still holds a wand in her hand, and her horse is behind her. So this tells me that the guidance for you on your current situation right now is to hold your own. Don't be afraid to go against the grain if you must, because even emperors need to wage war, especially when there is some of this energy in your environment. Revenge. If you're the one seeking revenge, do it with style, do it with grace. No, and I don't mean to be violent or to encourage you to violence, but what I'm saying is that know that all things that go around, they come around. There's no doubt about that. And balance will eventually be restored. So yes, balance is going to be restored and you get to be yourself 100%. Generosity of fire here. This is, I believe, Queen of Wands. So know that there is a passion within you. Know that there are desires within you, and know that you are fully capable of pushing forward with your own strength and not having to apologize for it or having to second guess yourself. And what is possible for you is a sense of emotional fulfillment. Here we have velocity of water. A woman who is on her horse, and behind her 2 watering cans. And you can see the energy within her body, in her chest, her lungs. She is a lung-centered being here. And with our lungs, we're able to breathe in deeply and exhale. And we're able to fully feel our emotions and let our emotions guide us as we move forward. This is velocity of water. This is what is possible for you if you are willing to accept your strengths, willing to accept that you have an inner burning desire to live to the fullest your life purpose. And you have the right to be your emotional self. You have the right to feel the feelings that are yours and come from your font of abundance, because you are a spiritual being. And with velocity of fire showing up with velocity of water, these two together show me that what is possible for you is forward momentum driven by your feelings in a very productive way. Velocity of fire is Knight of Fire. And look at this young man, or older man, excuse me, sitting on his horse in a desert environment. Behind him is this black triangle with some, looks like the Milky Way or some sort of galactic scene. He knows not where he is charging, but he allows his instinct to drive him. And I feel like that instinct also has to do with what you feel. So allow your feelings to drive you forward with momentum. I know that this is the message that you are meant to hear today. I know this is the message that you are meant to hear today. Advice on your current situation. So, as I promised, let me turn this over and take a look. Lorelei. So the artist that created this card, she has a very interesting life story. She's traveled around a great deal and lived in places that she is new to. So Lorelei, she says that this card is related to the idea that life is delicate. This little mermaid is hanging on to this anchor that's connected to this little sailboat. And look how big she is compared to how little the sailboat is. Life is delicate. And with just one yank, she could capsize this boat. So I feel like this oracle card is here to give you advice on your current situation related to this energy. Know that every energy you put forth, every intention, action that you take to act upon what you really deeply feel on the inside has consequences. It has consequences for your sense of control. It can have consequences for your sense of isolation or being able to be social and connected to people. So know that this oracle card has showed up to alert you that you absolutely get to be who you are, your unique self, 100%. But know that your actions, like the sun energy here, whatever your energy touches, it will affect, it can heal or it can burn. So I want you to know that that is the advice on your current situation. And if you felt like that was helpful to you, please like. If you like it, it allows me to create more content for you so that you always find a sense of support and healing in the tea room. Thank you, Kindred Spirit, and I'll see you next time. Hey there, Kindred Spirit. You chose pile 2. The beautiful green conch shell. Is this a conch shell? I don't know, but I love it. It's beautiful, and I'm going to set it aside for you. And you also chose the Freedom Oracle, and I would like to read this to you from the book that comes with this deck. So this is the Freedom card, and it says, "It is always at the very end, when we have all but given up hope of redemption, that liberation comes." Where are you your own worst enemy? What and who do you tend to complain most about or blame? Where do you feel like a victim? Be honest. So I'm feeling like the message that you need to hear right now, because you chose this card, is what situation, person, or habits are keeping you from being fully free? What is keeping you from feeling fully spiritually unfettered? Look at this beautiful dragonfly on this man's forehead. Dragonflies are a symbol of luck, and when I see them flying, I am just struck with wonder, because their leaves are translucent. They're so beautiful, and they just seem to hover in the air when I see them in the garden. So there's something about being translucent, like wings, being light, lightening up your approach to something, lightening up the way that you engage with people or the things that you own, or perhaps letting go of things that you own and people and relationships, and that will give you a greater sense of freedom. So sometimes when we hold on to things, we can really be our own worst enemy, and I know what that's like. And we all have to work to find ways to let go and to surrender. So let's take a look at what your oracle card, organization. Yes, organization. So we have Mercury in Virgo, and Mercury is the sign of communication. Virgo is the sign of the Virgin, of wheat, of understanding what it means to really take care of something. So if we put those two ideas together, then this card is saying mental clarity is really key here. How are you using your words to communicate what you really would like to see in your life? Can you be more detailed? Can you be more specific with how you communicate, so that you can begin to see the ideas that you put out there come to fruition, so that you can experience the harvest? So I will put these two oracle cards all together soon as we unveil your tarot cards, so we can get a full look. If you're wondering about that, I'm going to turn that over at the end so we can unlock the meaning of the core meaning of this reading for you. I actually feel that for advice on your current situation, I just want to congratulate you. You are doing great. I'm seeing that very recently you've put some energy into starting a new community, or you've put energy into a project and you've been able to share it with your people and get a whole bunch of emotional satisfaction. And I know that because I'm seeing the 10 of water. Look at these beautiful women, and it looks like they're at Coney Island or something, doesn't it? With this gorgeous rainbow and all of these watering cans with oh look, I'm seeing this right now for you. You picked this shell. And green is the color of nurturing and growth. So I know that you've just put some energy into emotional energy and very concrete. You've gotten some concrete results with this recent situation, and I'm really proud of you. I want you to know that I do see what you've done, and that I do see, and Spirit sees what you have done, what you've accomplished here. And how you feel about it is triumphant. Again, I know that you are feeling this way, and if you're not, I want you to know that the up above is showering you with blessings and letting you know that it is okay to celebrate. Four of Fire. These four young men, they're out on the town and they're this just feels like fireworks. I can hear their trumpeting and it's just celebration. So if you're feeling this way, I want you to go all out. You are sovereignty of fire. This is King of Fire, really feeling like you are in your hot pants, you're on your motorcycle, you're feeling like a badass, and you totally deserve it. Good for you. This is such an upbeat reading. Thank you for coming and allowing me to do this for you. So the advice for you going forward, not that you need it, but the advice for you going forward is Ace of Water, Three of Fire. You just keep on going and pouring your beautiful, wonderful emotional energy into birthing this new project or relationship. Something new is afoot, and you just keep doing it. Three of Fire shows me that you've got direction and that you really, really need this go ahead to say, yes, I have arrived. We have landed on Mars, and I'm gonna stick my flag in it and say, yes, I have arrived. You have succeeded. Continue with this. Energy is all go here. And what is possible here for you, if you keep going, is the Empress, life giver, productivity, lovely creation, mothering energy. She's sitting in this gorgeous conservatory of roses and enjoying a little cup of tea. And she's holding her little girl. And this is just a beautiful, beautiful moment where you can enjoy the butterflies, enjoy the sunlight coming in, and look how her aura is glowing yellow here. This is what is possible. Just keep doing what you're doing and you're going to be able to continue experience even more than what you're feeling right now. Six of Fire is great victory and reward. Not just you feeling good, but you getting that recognition from someone else. This man is handing her this trophy and it's got 6 wands in it, and it looks like she's just won the pageant. But you are a highly intelligent and emotionally intelligent being. It's not about what you look like, though it is important to take care of your body and your health and eat the right foods. This is about what you have invested in the people around you and in your community, and as well as yourself. So I know that you have put in a great deal of organization to find your freedom, and you are constantly working with the what is the word? Mercury in Virgo. I know you are constantly culling, and this is what allows you to experience this freedom. So keep doing that. Keep taking inventory on what you need to keep, what's working, and what you can let go of. And let's take a look at this oracle card to sum up the reading. Can you hear me? Absolutely. You just keep speaking to your spirit guides, talk to the up above, talk to your loved ones on the other side. They are always working behind the scenes, pulling strings to help you get to where you are going in the fastest, quickest way possible. And know that if something doesn't work out right away, you get to decide. You get to organize your thoughts. You get to organize your way forward and decide whether or not you're going to accept the challenge or accept that it's taking too long, because there is another way. There is another way to push forward, and you're going to trust your Ace of Water, your intuition. And I want you to know that yes, absolutely, Spirit can hear you. Your spirit guides can hear you. And they have showed up today to give you this message, your advice on your current situation. And I want you to know that if it was helpful for you, if you like it, it allows me to create more content for you so that you never miss any messages that are meant just for you in the tea room. All right, I will see you soon. Hello, kindred spirit. You chose pile 3, this gorgeous shell that looks like coral to me, and I'm going to put that aside. And you also chose number 6, diplomacy, and I want to read this to you. So, diplomacy. Emotional maturity means that your awareness operates even during the most profound emotional states. Do you tend to avoid uncomfortable feelings through peacemaking or by overreacting and exacerbating the conflict? What do you fear might happen if you stopped working so hard to please certain people? So this is an interesting message. Diplomacy is all about balance. It is about seeking justice through open communication. Making space for the other person's voice to be heard allows you to have your voice to be heard. It opens a communication channel that is mutual, and that is the goal of diplomacy. So I'm going to set this aside. I know that was the message you needed to hear today, but I'm going to come back to it at the end after we have looked at these other cards to give a fuller reading so you can get advice on your current situation. Companionship. And I think that this card, Moon in Libra, is so interesting here next to diplomacy, because Libra is the sign of diplomacy. And with diplomacy, yes, sometimes we seek to find a partner, we seek to find companionship. Sometimes too much diplomacy can bring us partnerships that don't necessarily feed us. We're simply just acquiescing to the other person's point of view so that we can, I don't know, put off dealing with the growth that we need to deal with personally. I'll get into that later if it is important for me to talk about. But Moon in Libra is all about, I love you. Don't you love me? What can I do for you? And what will you do for me? So Moon in Libra can also be quite how I have experienced it. Could be very, what's the word I'm looking for? It can be very hard for Moon and Libra to make decisions because they just want to keep the peace. So that's pretty interesting. Let's take a look at what the tarot cards are saying for you here. And I'm going to unveil this card at the end. There are your cards. So it looks like you recently come through a situation in which you have put in a lot of physical effort. You've either been moving around, running errands, building something with someone, something concrete. So I don't just mean socializing. I mean really like maybe you put up a booth at a fair, you knitted something, or you created a really big meal that you shared with family. 8 of Earth signifies an energy that is very, very creative, but super, super tangible results. This is what happened recently. And generosity of water shows me that you were at the head of the table. You were at the head of this activity. If you didn't organize it, you had an integral part to this activity, and you were really the nurturer, the giver. And I just really love this card because she seems to be underwater. Of course, she's a mermaid. And she is swimming with a tortoise. And the tortoise is an animal that can live for over 100 years. And because it moves very slowly, it moves at the pace of our animal existence, at the pace of plants growing. So this tells me that there's something about pacing yourself that you've learned after you've created this wonderful communal activity and created this very tangible result for yourself. I'm also interested in seeing how you feel about that. Wow. You did a great deal of juggling. I have two of earth here. These two little pages are throwing up roses into the sky, and they're trying to balance on these globes that are sitting within these two pots. And what a sight to behold. This is fantastic. I know that you're feeling confident about this, and if you're not, I want you to feel confident about what you're doing and what you have done. It's just been really amazing. Four of water is really interesting next to two of earth, isn't it? Here we have this motion and this juggling and balancing many different aspects, and maybe you're balancing different feelings about this particular project that you have done. Four of water, look at how this woman is sitting on this rock. Four is this feeling of respite, of pause. It's taking into account all of these feelings. Water is feelings. So just resting for a moment. I love that you're taking time to rest amidst the juggling that you are doing. It's absolutely warranted and super, super important. That is how you're feeling about the situation that has just happened. And now, advice on your current situation. So we now have just talked about respite, emotional respite while you are juggling. And here we have this talk about momentum with Eight of Fire. You see this woman, she is running in a relay, and it's all her. It's all eight identical people. Sovereignty of air. I see. I feel like this card in here, Eight of Fire, momentum with sovereignty of air, King of Air, this means that you could consider delegating more tasks to other people. I'm feeling like you have taken on a lot here, and that you have the executive decision making and control and insight to be able to delegate some tasks, pass the baton, if you will. And if you do that, what is possible here is you allow other people to learn about what their gifts are. Seven of water, generosity of earth. And then as you do that, you will it jumped. It was like, I'm alive. You will experience a deeper sense of abundance and gain many, many resources as you learn to delegate tasks and mentor other people. So perhaps think about mentoring other people and organizing in such a way so that you can teach people to do what you do. You don't have to carry it all. You've actually surpassed what you're going to teach other people if you choose to go this route. The cards, remember, they're ambivalent. This is information that should or could help you on your way if you so choose to take it. All right, so as I said, let's unveil this card. Pure nature. All right. Understanding. We are all vulnerable, absolutely. And sometimes we want to hide our pure nature because we want to make sure that the people who are around us, remember this card, companionship, we want to make sure that they're pleased. We want to make sure they're going to stick around. So sometimes we hide our warts. We hide our scars for the sake of diplomacy. And of course, it is often helpful to keep certain things close to your chest, to play the cards, so to speak, close to your chest. With sovereignty of air, I feel like these are almost opposing energies, with pure nature being fully embracing your nature, fully embracing how vulnerable you are, and sovereignty of air, taking control, not taking any sugar from anybody, but delegating the tasks. So I feel like there's a balance here of being nurturing and being understanding to both yourself and those you are working with, but also taking the executive control and saying, this is this and that is that. Now, When you do that, you will be able to allow people to take the baton and run with it. You're doing them a much, much greater service than if you were to do it all for them. And now I'm understanding these two cards. You have just come through something where, yes, you have generated a great deal of community and a great deal of very tangible assets for yourself. Emotional feedback from people, but as well as really feeling solid in what you did. You feel like you feel like you were able to establish a sense of diplomacy and companionship, but now it is time to allow others to take the baton, so to speak. I know that that message resonated for you in one or many areas of your life, and if it did, please give a thumbs up, because when you do that, it helps this Tea Room channel to create more content so that you'll always find a safe and healing place to get advice on your current situation. Thank you so much for joining us in the Tea Room, and kindred spirit, I will check you later.